Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nancy Yonner coming to you live from the heart of my home, my kitchen. And I am super, super excited to be sitting at my kitchen table with my dear, dear friend, Caryn Grafton. And we know each other professionally as well and personally. And there's lots to kind of unpack here today with Caryn. And before I get into that, I just wanted to say a big shout out to everyone that came to our vendor appreciation gathering this past week. It was so fun. Caryn was actually speaking and wasn't able to come, but she did have a teammate pop by who we love, Brody. And so that was nice to see him. And it was at one of our favorite venues down in downtown Leesburg, Tuscarora Mill, where they have this log cabin. You've been there before. And so it's very intimate, which I love. And there was 30 plus people there. And it was just such a great opportunity to see everyone. But I was really wanting everyone to meet each other because I know everyone, but it's an opportunity to make great connections, right? So anyway, so that was lovely. And I just wanted to say a little reminder, which I do. This is from the heart of my home live that I do every Tuesday, that pretty much, and where I share a little real estate, a little health and home with you and support local businesses. So we do have all of these on our YouTube channel, so be sure to check them out. It's a real variety. So anyways, welcome Caryn Grafton. Caryn Grafton I've known for quite some time, and it's really been amazing to watch her grow professionally and personally. When I first met Caryn, she was a solo loan officer, also known in our industry as a LL. Yes. Right. And she has grown and she has a team, but not only does she have her own mortgage business team that serves like my clients and other agents' clients, she is also has a big responsibility. She's an executive vice president at her company called Atlantic Coast Mortgage, which is a private mortgage company here locally, and you've heard me talk about it before. So important to use a local lender. And then she's also a national sales manager. So she's grown professionally and then of course personally, because I think when I first met you, you didn't even have your firstborn yet, Luke.
No, absolutely not. I remember meeting you. I had heard so much about you, and you were in the newspaper. You were hand-folded in the newspaper. And I remember wanting to meet you and be, to work with you. And yeah, I didn't even have a child. A lot had not happened yet. I had just started the Brian Buffini systems, and I know you did that
for a long time, for like 10 years, which is a coaching company. Yeah,
absolutely.
And so Caryn now has 4 kids. And so tell us, one of the things I wanted to know, Caryn, because we could talk for hours actually, and we do.
Often.
But one of the things I thought would be interesting for people to know is maybe like 3 to 5 attributes that you could think of that kind of has led to your success. If you think about other mortgage loan officers, I know you're meeting with my grandson next week and going to be having a conversation with him. I mean, what would you share with people that, has made you such a success, or if someone wanting to get into the industry, what would they need to do?
Yeah, I think, first of all, you have to start, right? You don't have to be good to start, but you have to start to be good. So start, and
that's a great quote. I gotta write that down.
You got to start and then have, some sort of vision for yourself. It may morph into something else, but start with a vision, start with a plan, the desire. When I got into the mortgage business at the beginning, I didn't really know my elbow from, I just didn't know anything about the industry. I didn't have a mortgage and I was petrified. And then as I got a little bit further into it, I started to realize, okay, looks like, and it's funny because my brother always says, I told you to go after agents, so I've had a part in your success. I'm like, wow, thanks, Mike. You helped me with so much. But I wanted to go after real estate agents. I wanted to work with the best agents in the area. But that was a desire of mine. It was after getting in the mortgage industry, not like basically getting leads from the internet and from the newspaper, and really desiring to build connection with people and have repeat and referral business, which I learned from Brian Lafini, which is the coaching company. I didn't really know that that was even a thing. That's how people built their business. And to me, that sounded like a way better vision and a plan for the way I wanted to do business. And so started with a vision, a lot of hard work and grit, and realizing that, like, I know you say this a lot about being in sales and how being a salesperson is something you should be really proud of, because it's not an easy job, and it's what makes the world go around. And if you believe in your product and you're really helping people, there's so many opportunities to help customers. And so I would say start with a vision, work hard, start somewhere. You're not going to know everything right away. You'll start to know more of what you're looking to do as you get further along, and find someone to hold you accountable, whether it be a coach or a friend. You've held me accountable over the years to my goals, and we've done a lot of, going to seminars, writing out our goals together, and then sharing our wins and challenges together. So find a partner out there that you can be held accountable, get to work, and I would also say always keep learning, right? So that's something that we really enjoy. I have so much to learn that I'm excited about. And so the journey is, what you want to find joy in.
I just love that. I mean, we could just bottle that up as
Yep.
a little recipe for success. Tell me something, Caryn, that maybe some people don't know about you, like something, that you can't find out on necessarily Facebook or, LinkedIn, or, something that about you that maybe
Yeah.
someone knows.
Well, I think, like, for me, I actually grew up in a long line of very negative people. And so when I got into the mortgage business and I got into this personal growth journey, for me, I never really thought like a lot of my family members. And so when I got into this business and I started, like, really diving into personal growth and different thought leaders and authors in that space, I thought how it kind of aligned with the way that I have always known in my heart. And so I would say I've spent a lot of years, reading and studying positive thinking and habits, and overcoming negative thoughts, and, like, basically how that works into sales and works into your life and attracting the things that you want for your life. So I think that's where my heart is. I really enjoy that space.
That is awesome. Speaking of positivity, remember we did that book series of the Success Crystals?
Oh, yeah.
Who was that by? I can't remember. He's part of that group
The
that
chicken
soup.
soup for the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that book. That was such a great book. And that was such a great group of people that we had when we did that.
It was. I
And
remember that.
Karen's is right. She's always learning and growing. And you mentioned the heart. Okay, so tell me something that's kind of dear to your heart.
I mean, honestly, well, I would say relationships. I'm super grateful for our friendship. Like, when I came after you and started stalking you for real estate business, I had no idea I was going to end up in a friendship. I was stalking a lot of top producers at the time. And, they're not all created equally. Nancy is just somebody with a ton of depth. And I crave that, connection. I'm grateful for it. And just deep relationships,
Yeah. Well, it's nice because one of the things that Caryn and I, we don't talk a lot about, but we do go to the same church, Destiny, here in Leesburg.
You actually introduced me to it.
That's right.
You left for a while and I was going, and there was all these, like, kind of woven in relationships there, and it was awesome. And then you came back.
Yeah, I know, and we enjoy it. It's something that we have in common. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about this new venture of yours, this new, talk about always learning and growing and whatnot. As I mentioned in my post earlier, Caryn has just authored a book.
Wow.
Yeah, here it is.
Thank you.
Front and center. And it's called Made for More. And it's 7 Virtues for an Extraordinary Life by Caryn Grafton. And Caryn, share with us how this came to be. And I've read it and I recommend it. I've read it twice and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you. You're the best. Yeah, so I have had a story on my heart for a long time. And I was thinking originally about the responsibilities that women have, working women, and just women in general. We put a lot on our plate. And so that was kind of the theme of the story that I wanted to write. And then I went on like an eat, love, pray kind of expedition with a business coach and a bunch of friends.
Where was that?
It was in Italy.
Wow.
And in Florence, and the Renaissance capital of the world. And so we were all there and we were having a great time, and they wanted to go to an art museum. And that is something that I would typically not want to do, because I want to make the most of like my time away from the busy family life, husband, and all the responsibilities. So I was like, that's not something I would normally want to do. I want to go shopping, I want to do those kind of things. But the group was going, so I decided to go. And I was being sarcastic, because that's what I like to do. I was bored and we were looking at a bunch of paintings from way, way, way back when. And my coach says to me, she's like, you might want to pay attention. You might learn something. And I was like, yeah, right. The next room that we were in this art museum was this picture of the 7 virtues. And it was 7 women, painted back in the 1400s. And it just completely spoke to me. I cannot believe that this was from so long ago. And I personally grew up in a household that wasn't super religious. My dad was Jewish, my mom was Episcopalian, but they both do not like organized religion. And so that was always in the background. And then I ended up marrying a Christian man and becoming Christian. And, sometimes when in those environments, they feel foreign to me. And so I've always been an extremely moral person. And when I saw the 7 virtues, I was like, wow, they're amazing. Faith, charity, hope, prudence, temperance, justice, and fortitude. And those words just really spoke to me. So I left that art museum. I was like, I gotta go. I went back to the hotel room and I just started writing, and it all just kind of poured out. I got a lot of help from the business coach and a lot of support with friends like you. And yeah, a lot of help with writing, because I wasn't even really like a writer. That wasn't my thing necessarily.
Well, again, that's what I love about you. One of the things that Caryn does is she's an action-oriented person. She's smart, she's thoughtful, and she's a good implementer, good problem solver. And she just went after it. I mean, that conference that you went to, the coaching thing, was 2 years ago, right? And here we are today with this amazing book. And I love the format, by the way, Caryn. It's really great because after each chapter, she talks a little bit about her personal life and some stories, and there's stories throughout. But then after each chapter, when she talks about each virtue, she has some prompting questions, so you can do a little journaling. So it's interactive too and thought-provoking, and I just love it. Again, so Caryn, before we tell people when they can get this book, tell us where your Atlantic Coast Mortgage, where can we find you for business?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll share it in the social media post as well. But I'm Caryn Grafton on Instagram. And like Nancy said, I work for Atlantic Coast Mortgage. And yeah.
And then as far as the book goes, it comes out the 15th?
The 15th, May 15th. Yeah,
and where can we get it?
It's going to be on Amazon.
That is so fantastic.
Yeah,
well, Caryn, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. I'm so grateful to you and for our relationship and what it's blossomed into. So, you know what, if there's any people that are like, hey, should I make that sales call to a realtor? Can you imagine after 20 years of knowing each other, the friendship and all the clients that we've served? I'm extremely grateful to you for everything.
Oh, well, thank you, Karen. I back at you. I do want to ask you one last question.
I would love it.
I'm kind of putting her on the spot. I didn't tell her I was going to ask this, but if you were going to suggest someone to come and sit at my table with me, in my kitchen, like someone that is doing some amazing things like you are, or someone local that our audience might be interested in hearing from, do you have someone in mind that I could invite to my kitchen table?
I think, who might be interesting is Pam Pine from Loudon Insurance Group.
Mm-hmm.
She owns Loudon Insurance Group, and I've just known her for 20 years as well, and
Yeah.
she's just grown as a person. So I think people would really enjoy knowing her story.
Yes, and I love her. And so that's a great suggestion. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. And Karen, we always sign off with, we'll see you next week. And next week is the second Tuesday. So I'll be cooking in my kitchen. And but until I see you next week, thumbs up, lots of love, and keep smiling. All right. Take care, everyone.